Zinedine Zidane, by far and away one of the greatest midfielders to ever play football. He had everything you'd want in a legendary midfielder: elite touch, elite passing, everything. Well, everything but a good hairline, that is.
Oh my God!
And although Zizou gets a lot of credit for his awesome playing abilities, and of course his glorious heading ability, it's his managerial skill that goes under the radar when talking about him. This may be due to a lot of the footballing world thinking he maybe got a little bit lucky with a star-studded team, and as a manager he had no tactical prowess and he was just bang average. Now, realistically, he isn't one of the greatest managers ever, but in my opinion, he is a really underrated manager and probably one of the best managers in the past decade. And he just doesn't get the credit that he deserves for bringing 3 Champions Leagues in a row to Real Madrid, and I mean, he even got a Champions League as an assistant manager in 2014. But why is this? Why has this bold, beautiful man gone so under the radar despite having won 8 trophies at Real Madrid before he got 8 losses? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today. So what's going on, everyone? You're tuned into Back of the Net here. I hope you're all doing well. Please be sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, I think a big reason that Zidane's work at Real Madrid is so overlooked is simply because of the general thought that Real Madrid were a star-studded team and all Zidane had to do was guide them in the right direction. But that is so far from the truth. People are forgetting that when Zidane joined Real Madrid, they weren't in a good position for their standards. They had gone trophyless the season prior under Ancelotti, I mean if we exclude the bogus FIFA Club World Cup. And Rafa Benitez had come into this team and absolutely stunk out the place, losing 4-0 at home to Barca. I mean, bro was just sitting on the bench, eating peanuts, while I saw his team getting bent over and destroyed by Barcelona. Bro looked like a cuck. When Zidane was brought in by Madrid in 2016 to help rescue a team that seemed defeated and out of their depth, it was thought that Zidane would basically be a placeholder until Madrid could find the right replacement in the summer. Zidane finished the season on a 12-game win streak and won the Champions League against Atletico Madrid, basically securing his spot as a permanent manager of Los Blancos. The next year, he won La Liga for the first time in 5 years for the club and became the first team to back-to-back the Champions League in the modern era. The following year, he completed the first ever three-peat of Champions Leagues in the modern era before resigning from Madrid. Once Zizou left Madrid, Real replaced him with 2 managers, being Jurgen Lopetegui and Santiago Solari, and they both really stunk out the place as well.
You suck.
And by March of that season, Madrid came crawling back to Zizou and begging for him to come back to Madrid. Zizou accepted and he rejoined Madrid. The following season, you would swear Madrid were in a strip club the way they were throwing money around in the summer, signing Eden Hazard, Ferland Mendy, Jovic, Renier, Militao and Rodrigo arrived in Madrid. In his return season, Zidane won the Super Cup and won La Liga, going on a 10-game win streak to close the season out. Zidane then went trophyless the next season and left this time for good. So there's a summary about Zidane's time as a manager of Madrid, and inspired by the Rugby World Cup, let's tackle some common things that people think about Zizou as a manager. First thing they think is he's bald and he has no say on how people should wash or wear their hair, and I mean, to be fair, that is spot on.
I messed up, we gotta go bald, fam.
Oh, shit.
Second is that he is tactically average. Now, it's completely true that Zidane's strongest attribute as a manager is his man management skills. And believe me, it is not easy to take a locker room of stars and divas and make them all pull in the same direction and play for each other. I mean, look at the dumpster that is PSG. Zidane may not be crazy with some groundbreaking tactics like this inverted goalkeeper or a centre-back that must be a poacher in the box and take on fullbacks one-on-one. But something Zidane was very good at doing as a manager was finding a system that would best suit the players that he had and let each of those players thrive in their role. Casemiro was barely ever playing for Benitez, and when Zidane came in, he saw a role for Casemiro, and under Zidane is where Casemiro announced himself to the footballing world as one of the best DMs in the world. Zidane quickly cultivated the best midfield we had seen in a long time with Kroos, Modric and Casemiro being one of the best midfield partnerships we have seen in the last 2 decades. He also made players happy with a role coming off the bench, and for example, Isco had some amazing performances coming off the bench under Zidane. He made the squad top to bottom buy into his philosophy, and everyone believed and worked together as a unit. So although he wasn't special tactically, his man management skills were out of this world. I mean, you can have the coolest formations ever as a manager, but without man management, it's kinda useless. Another thing is that Zidane needs a world-class squad or a Cristiano Ronaldo to be successful. Now, he already disproved the Ronaldo idea by winning La Liga and making it to the semi-finals of the Champions League without Mr. Al Nassr. Now, having guys like Ramos, Benzema, Modric and Marcelo was undoubtedly hopeful for Zizou. But Lopetegui, Benitez, Solari all also had the same core and couldn't do shit with it. Zidane knew how to get the best out of the players he was given. Now, another thing is that Zidane doesn't develop youngsters. Now, while Zidane usually went with the older, more experienced players in key games, the thinking that he never gave youngsters opportunities is just so wrong. Like I mentioned earlier, he brought Casemiro into a starter role while in charge at Madrid. He also allowed players like Hakimi and Valverde to have an important role at the club. Players like Llorente and Ceballos also got their debuts with Madrid under Zidane. And also, in case you didn't know, it was Zidane in 2011 that suggested Madrid sign the then 18-year-old Rafael Varane to their ranks. Now, I could go on about Zidane, but I realize at this point I kind of sound like I'm glazing him off a little bit. So although he wasn't the greatest manager and he probably couldn't save Luton Town from relegation, I think what he had done at Madrid is so under the radar and he is so underrated for his job at Madrid. Now, I don't think he's one of the greatest managers ever. I think he's quite far away from that, but I think it's fair to call him maybe one of the best, maybe top 5 managers of the past 20 years. And I mean, I think it's very important for us to acknowledge that he wasn't just lucky and had stars all around him. What he had to do was a lot of work to make them all buy into the team and pull together as one. But that's the video, guys. I'm done deep throating Zidane for now. Maybe in the future I'll make a part 2 about this video because there is so much to unpack here. Let me know in the comments if I should do that. Let me know in the comments what do you guys think about Zidane as a manager. Be sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.